Gamers. I was eating some kale salad immediately before the stream start. I'm digging myself the hiccups. We'll see if they stick around. It's not great. They're the kind of dry hiccups that kind of hurt. Anyway, happy Sunday. Hello, everybody. Are you guys ready? Play more Pentiment? Because I fucking am. I really fucking am. Extremely excited for this game. Hello. I'm going to do a reminder up top and a reminder at the end and hopefully a reminder in the middle, but I will not be here Tuesday, Thursday, or next Sunday. So the whole week I will not be streaming because I will be at PAX East. And if you're going to be at PAX East, you can come find me. I'll be in the Necrosoft booth. I'll mostly be doing press stuff, so I will not always be available to chat pretty much, so it might be a drive-by. Your best bet is to get me at the every half hour with the changing of the press guard, so to speak. But if you see me, say hello. I like being said hello to. So anyway, no stream, but we'll be back. I'll be back after that. All right, where did we leave things in this game? Oh, we found that book. We found that book that had the handwriting that matched the notes from earlier. Really excited about that one. Madzaloo, I'm excited to hear your rant about pants. Pant rant. All right, so we found... Oh, there are more objectives than I thought there were going to be. So we found a book that was burnt in the book sale. Wait, my captions spell fuck, but not bullshit. What? I didn't know that. Why are they doing that? Or why aren't they doing that? That's weird. Bull. Shit. That's extra weird that it will do shit, but not bullshit. What? Interesting. That is not something I chose to have happen. If I could choose it to censor words, I would censor way funnier words. I would censor a word like pineapple or something, and then forget about it, and then say pineapple on stream at some point, and be like, what, why did it not say that word? I don't know any other swears. I'm a good girl. I'm a good girl, I am. I don't know any other swears. Heck. Well, it does heck. That's the only swear I know. Chat, you have to... No, don't teach me any Don't teach me any swears. I don't want to fuss with the auto mod. Is that crumbum? It spelled that one. Okay. So we need to figure out, we have to do two things. We have to give that baby that book. Because as established on the last stream, babies get books. In this house, babies get books. And then we need to figure out who fucking wrote this fucking book that we found. You guys really set me off. I'm gonna curse a lot this stream now. That's really good. Really good quote added. Everybody gets books. Babes and babies alike. From the weeest babe to the hottest babe. Everybody gets books. Okay. I think, so the Drucker house is where the baby gets the book. Hey, guy. Ha! Everybody has to have an exception for Dick Van Dyke. That's my stance. What? Okay. I guess let's drop this book off. Hey, my dude. Yeah, bless you too. Is Otelia still in the... Yeah. Hey, Otelia, do you like me now? Nope. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I'm not sad about that. After I help you that one time with your chores. That's fine. That's fine. I kept trying to censor Woody. Oh, looky, there's a little portrait of the family. Oh, that's so nice. Y'all are strangers to me and I cannot interact with you. Hey, Klaus. Yeah, I'm back. We're almost ready to sit down and eat. Would you and Casper care to join us? Yes, of course. Andreas, these are my friends, Benjamin and Rachel Sommerfield. They're on their way back to Prague. Good day. Hello, excuse me for not getting up. It's a bit difficult. Of course, I understand. It's nice to meet you both. Hello. This baby's gonna have a hard time with this Latin book I'm gonna give her. Hello. That sounded like a real word, Klaus. She is learning more of them every day. She'll be reading before long. That's a wonderful segue to the gift that I've brought her. Oh? A book from the Abbey Library. Is this for her or for you? Her, I swear. Albertus Magnus's De Animalibus, Andreas. She's only 2 years old. Should I have gotten her the book on printing? Do you think that would have made Klaus happy? Gold stars. I don't think she actually thought she would freeze to death at night. I think she was just being sassy. You can read it until she's ready. Thanks for this. It's a nice thought. Damn. We should probably pray before we eat, assuming the Sommerfelds don't mind. Thank you, Undead Andreas is full of instant coffee right now. Not at all. We're accustomed to being guests in Christian homes. Thank you for asking, Klaus. Oh, this is nice. It's nice that they asked the Jewish couple before going into it. All right, I'll lead the prayer then. Oh, bless us, O Lord, and these your gifts which we are about to receive from your bounty. Through Christ our Lord, amen. Hobbs. Amen. Yeah, Hobbs. I clocked the names, but I wasn't certain. Klaus, thank you again for letting us stay here. It's been such a long trip. Oh. Is it time? No, I'm fine, I think. I'm just sore everywhere. Ugh. Anyway, we'd hoped to get home weeks ago, but the fighting has made it slow progress from Basel. Basel? Tassing is hardly on the way to Prague. We'd rather not get caught up in battles between the Swabian League and peasants, so we're taking a strange route. Swabian League was a military group maintained by the free imperial cities of the Holy Roman Empire. Members include nobles, knights, or hired, retained mercenaries. Oh, did Friends change all that? Or I feel like wasn't Rachel already a pretty popular name? Well, maybe not. That's an interesting question. That feels worth investigating. Alright. We were in Basel to do some business, but we didn't want to overstay our welcome. Oh. Yes, unfortunately, I witnessed their intolerance for Jews when I spent my wanderjarn there. Oh, are you familiar with the printer Johann Froben? How could I not be? I love that this background made me better able to talk to these people. He's turned Basel into the pride of Swiss printing. He has incredible artists working for him. It's true, and we certainly don't mind that he publishes books in Hebrew. That's why we visited. Benjamin and I are creating a Hebrew type for him. Cool. It turns out that when your town banishes all the Jews, you have a more difficult time finding Jews to work for you. Oh yeah, no, that makes sense. Who could have guessed? I just wish it hadn't taken us so long to get home. We have so far to go still. It's lucky timing for me, though. Now I have 2 printers and master artists at my dinner table. True, this isn't all misfortune. Daddy! No! Oh, yes, thank you. And a future printer and baby printer to be. Tassing hasn't seen this many artists under one roof in a while. I was printing business cards at the letterpress yesterday to hand out at PAX East for myself. And because most of the type that they have is like actual antique type that was used in like actual printing 100, 200 years ago, the person who runs the press had to find a box that she had of @ signs and hashtags that have been specially made to be used with modern or with vintage prints. So she just had a box of different @ signs and hashtags so that I could put my email address on my business cards. But I thought that was really, really funny. That I thought it was great that that need had already been filled, because like there are still people making type. Like wood type and metal type. So the fact that somebody was like, well, I found my niche. I'm gonna make any type that we need for the modern times. That, and I will say, I know anecdotally that modern like newspaper imprints, not newspaper imprints, like modern newspaper websites are having to do basically the exact same thing whenever like a new cultural food becomes popular. So like when Vietnamese food becomes popular and they start having to integrate Vietnamese words in like English type, they have to create new fonts in order to get those fonts to look the same. To like be able to cover like all of the different accents of everything. And so like this is the thing that they're doing is a thing that still has to be happening, and probably should have been happening a really long time ago. But I think it's really fascinating where it's just like type print is still a thing that is being finessed. I guess it's still a relatively new thing in human history, but it's pretty cool. Joshu, I wish. It says content creation, and I really thought to myself how much I wanted to put content and discontent creation, but then I was like, no, these are supposed to advertise myself, and maybe that's too flavorful. But the next time I print some, I might do like content creation and discontent explanation or something like that. I don't think I create discontent. I think I only explain and clarify what discontent exists, or maybe why people should be discontent. Maybe I am a discontent creator. I don't know. Anyway, let's see. It's amazing to see how far printing has come so quickly. Some of the engravings I've seen are incredible. And new techniques, new types, new styles are being deployed every year. Benjamin is trying to create a more readable script for Yiddish. We have typefaces for Hebrew, but it would be nice to have something separate for Yiddish. Well, is there much demand for that? Oh yes, most prayer books are still in Hebrew, not Yiddish. I'd like our writing to be more accessible, especially to those who can only read Yiddish. Awesome. Oh, cool! Here, something like this. I'll be sure to send you some samples when I'm finished, Klaus. Good. I'd like the... Oh! Yes, I'm fine. Klaus, what are you working on? I need to get ready to sell to travelers as the pass is open, but lately I've been printing the 12 articles for the town. 12 articles! Baby words! Thanks to Father Thomas, everyone in town can read at least well enough to make it through that sheet. It's got a lot of people talking, and a lot are coming over to Otto's way of thinking. Well, you heard him yourself, Andreas. What do you think of what's happening in Tassing? I mean, it's also pretty incredible, like, it's pretty incredible to think about the extent to which, like, reading does empower people, and the capacity for people to read and share information in text is one of those things that, like, pretty easily could have just been suppressed, right? At this time, like, if the people in power had decided that the 12 articles or being able to read essentially was too big a threat to their power structures, they could have just, like, eradicated it. But now it's, like, a pretty standard thing. Like, overwhelmingly, the majority of people can read at least some kind of text. And that's pretty cool, right? I don't know. Reading's great, and I like to read, and I'm glad that we can all read. Yeah, Hobbs, I mean, exactly. But, like, anytime there's something that threatens to change the status quo of culture at the moment, has the capacity to be suppressed. I mean, like, that's what, like, all this fuss about, like, drag shows, right? Is, like, I mean, arguably partially a smokescreen for larger larger political movements, but also, like, it's something that threatens to upset the status quo of gender expectations, and therefore has to be aggressively suppressed as though it could be. I don't know. It's interesting. Ha! What do you think what's happening in Tassing? And the abbot's always been an ass. What do you expect? You're not wrong. Remember what happened to Otilia's house? The abbot took it away. She lost everything. She works for Father Thomas now. She what? She works? She's an old lady. Let Otilia retire. I was as surprised as you are now. We all were. But that was the only charity available to her. Sorry, not trying to bring up bad memories. Shout out to Gutenberg. HTML, yes, exactly. I was just trying to say that things have been hard on the peasants for years. It's just gotten worse lately. If the abbey is in such bad state, there must be someone the abbot can appeal to for more money. He should try to sit down with, well, God. He should try to sit down with Otto and work something out. Otto's tried to reason with him. The abbot won't listen. Woo! White bread, apple pie. I shouldn't start with the apple pie. I'll start with the mushroom pottage. We're sympathetic to what's happening here. We saw it all throughout Swabia. Peasants are suffering. It's true, but I wouldn't worry what will happen to Tassing. I don't know what baby sounds sound like. I'm fine. Peasants are no match for the soldiers of the Swabian League. What is the Swabian League? Bastards who think they can crush people for the crime of standing up for themselves. All Swabian Leagues are bastards. Ooh, can I say bastards? Yeah, bastards is okay. Right or wrong, they can crush them. I saw their handiwork. It was brutal. If the peasants aren't careful, Tassing could draw the wrong sort of attention. I know that Otto and the peasants are taking a risk, but I believe Otto will keep things peaceful. Anyway, it's not the Swabian League we have to worry about, but the soldiers of Duke Bavaria. The title is held jointly by two brothers, Louis the X and William the IV. Both are working to suppress the peasants' revolts. A-Slab is pretty catchy, actually. Regrettably, A-Slab is kind of catchy. The fourth, okay, good. Bavaria! Oh, Magdalene! The Prince Bishop has the church's authority, but the Duke's lands surround Tassing and Kiersau. A little bit of white bread. Chomp, 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 chomp. I'm not gonna make excuses for myself, because what I did was shitty. Klaus, I'm sorry for what happened to your family, and I'm sorry I never wrote back. That's it. I'm sorry. Awkward! So awkward. Oh, this is it. This is it. Oh no, I was afraid of this. We can't travel now. This is all my fault. We should have left Basil earlier. I love you, Benjamin, but shut the fuck up. I don't care. I'm having a baby. Yes, we need a midwife. Is there one who could accept Rachel? Oh yeah, Agnes had fucking better. Agnes had fucking better midwife. Agnes Steinhauer. I'm not a doctor, so I'm not gonna offer to do a birthing. Agnes Steinhauer. She's Tassing's midwife. Could you get her? Klaus? Yes, I should get her. Agnes has delivered every child in Tassing as long as I can remember. She would never turn any woman away. She fucking better not. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Klaus, you're a mensch. Enough with the thanks. Get me the midwife. Yes. Andreas, you're forgiven. Casper, it was good to have you over, but you both have to leave. Thank you, Klaus. Good luck, Rachel. Thank you. I need it. I'll go fetch Agnes. Klaus is a man. She's great. Thank you for joining us, Andrew. Oh, I almost forgot. You should go see the bonfire preparations in the town commons. You missed them on your last visit. Klaus! Look at this. Look at her face. She's so red. I'm going. Thank you, Klaus. We'll be getting the fuck out of here. For sale baby books slightly red. New babies get new books. In this house. Take care. Yeah, Andreas is like, I've helped a lot of babies get in. I can help one get out. Alright. Let's see. Can go to the town commons. I think that's pretty much it. I guess we should walk around. Walk around a little. See what oh, maybe Otelia will have something to say to me now. Nope. Alright, that's fair. Yeah, Madaloo. Somebody probably should have stayed with them while the midwife was being gotten. Hobbs, I think she would have told me. I hope she would have told me, but who knows? Hello, Milo. Alright. Well, the baby got the book. That's the important part. Oh, alright. Can I pawn Casper off on y'all just a little bit for a play date? Hey, Strom. I'm doing well with them. Casper's staying in his lane as we need to. Oh, I do love B for B, which is standing for books for babies. Because if I saw B for B on like Tumblr, I would be like, bisexuals for bisexuals? Do you want to know what happened with Zadina? I mean, everything's fine, right? Did something happen other than what I have seen? I did hit on the nun, and she said she was not into it, and so I respectfully let it go. Pet Schlau. Come on, there we go. It's a bit of dialogue that I've missed by now. I am curious. I am curious what dialogue I missed. I mean, I did talk to her, but yeah, I guess there's just nothing in the woods now. I guess if you were a bit less respectful, she would have told you she missed some bleeding? What? 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 And St. Gertrude, oh, Sister Gertrude helped her with some herbs. Sister Gertrude's a good nun and a good friend. Wow, what? I fucking can't believe we missed that. Oh no! I can't believe we missed that. So she did get pregnant. She did get pregnant. Oh no. I mean, good on the sisters for taking care of it. But damn. I can't believe she didn't tell me. I can't believe that there was a conversation like that I simply missed. I'm really shook. How dare this game? I mean, I flirted with her. I can't believe she was like, not again. She didn't say like, not again. I can't believe she wasn't like, Sorry, Hobbs. I mean, that's fair. It's fair to be concerned about that. I mean, it's not like she would have been the first pregnant nun in history. There's so many more missable achievements in real life. I suppose. Gertrude is great. Yeah. Gertrude's wonderful. That's a good nunnery. Is the kitty still here? Yes, but I can't pet it? Okay. Hey, y'all. Nobody's got new dialogue for me? You miss 100% of the nuts you don't impregnate? Well. Well. Hey, dog! Okay. Is that you, Andreas? Yes, brother. I have a book I wanted to ask you about. Oh, right. This super important book that I forgot about. Oh, I'm afraid I may not be of much help. I can barely read anymore. I can describe it to you. It's a book of origins homilies written in a fine bookhand. And it is singed around the edges. Yes, you know it? Do you know where it came from and who wrote it? Andreas, forget this book. What? Adok? What? Why? It came from a place of fire and a terrible darkness. What are you saying to me? What does that mean? This cover, these leaves, they bear the marks of a great evil that was done. A soul can also bear such marks, carry them for a lifetime. Whose soul? The person who wrote this book? There's a presence that watches over this place, Andreas. A presence that wishes for things to remain as they are. Do you mean the abbot? Ooh. She smelled the devil's presence. That's right. She smelled sulfur. Oh. I don't know how to answer this one, so I'm going to take some water and think about it. God, like, what do I even... I don't know which of these... I'll ask him what he means rather than put words in his mouth. No, you gotta have words in your mouth if I don't put them in there. I cannot say any more, Andreas. I'm sorry. What, really? You can't tell me any more? I dare not, for your own good. God protect you. Adok! What the fuck? What the fuck, Adok? That's bullshit. Maybe one of the other brothers knows something. I mean... Was one of the nuns a survivor of a fire? I don't remember that, but that doesn't mean that is not true. Hey, Rudger. Is the sacristy open? Gone from my busybody era to my bully era? Well, listen. There's still a lot of questions that need answering. And who's gonna do it except for me? Hi, Sophie. God bless you, Sister Sophie. It's good to see you again. And you, Master Mahler. The garden looks spectacular. You've taken good care of it. I know it's been some time, Master Mahler, but I must remind you of my vows. Okay, cool it, Sophie. I cannot speak with men. Oh, okay, yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. Bless you. That's fair. Oh, Lisbeth. God bless you. Is working for Mother Illuminata very different from working for Mother Cecilia? My duties remain the same regardless of who the prioress is. Ooh, that seems like a mean thing to ask. Don't tell me you haven't noticed any differences, sister. Mother Illuminata prefers a warmer room. I maintain the hearth to her room throughout the night. That's incredibly considerate, sister. May it bring glory to God. I must return to my duties. God bless you, Master Mahler, and you, sister. No, Illuminata's the best. She's not the devil, or a devil. She's delightful. Hey, Matilda. I want to thank you, Master Mahler. Whatever for? You understood that despite what happened to me... Oh, right. Because I didn't mention... I didn't mention her name. I forgot that I hadn't talked to her about this yet. You understand that despite what happened to me at the hands of the Baron, you did not condemn me. I appreciate that. The Archdeacon surveyed the evidence. I merely spoke the truth as I saw it. Yes, well, the entire event was a tragedy. I did not expect to see you again. I'm glad the Lord gave me a chance to thank you properly. I ought to get back to work. God bless you. God bless you, Matilda. Hey, what's up, Gertrude? Gertrude might be my favorite nun. For a lot of reasons. Welcome back to Kiersau. Thank you, Sister Gertrude. All of Tassing seems to know I'm here. Ha ha! You're a big man in a small town, Andreas. Word travels fast. Besides, Mousefonger tells me everything that goes on in Kiersau. Gertrude, you're the witch of the convent, and I love her. Who's Mousefonger? Our convent cat and an excellent rat catcher. And an excellent gossip, too, it seems. Ha! Don't ruin my fun, Andreas. Until later, sister. Bless you, Andreas. Bless you, Casper. Mousefonger, are you in here? Yes, you are such a good kitty. You're such a good kitty. Nya, nya, nya. Yeah. God bless you too, Marguerite. Alright. Okay. Yeah, well, here's what I want for this game. I want this game to be like White Lotus, where they make a sequel to it, but it is set in like a different time and a different location, and then it just explores those times and locations. That would be cool. Or maybe even just like the same exact time period, but in a different location, and then exploring how different like medieval locations experience the same time period in different ways. That would be cool. Right, Gring, thank you for the resubscribe. One percent of players had, oh yes, yeah, rarer achievement than having finished the game. That actually makes me feel great. That makes me feel really happy. Oh yeah, they're Wicker Manning. Hobbs. I mean, this game is done really, really well. So I'm crossing my fingers. Everyone seems to be working hard for the bonfire tonight. The commons look festive, decorated like this. Look at the flowers, master, and the bonfire's huge. How's the fire coming? Those logs work out all right for you, Andreas? Coming along. Nearly finished with it. All in one place, Otto. Yeah, we're getting there. HTMLE, thank you for re-upping your subscription. Good, good. All right, everyone. Remember, after the bonfire tonight, we celebrate as usual. Getting rowdy. We will all gather in the woods, and the women will collect herbs as tradition demands. Otto, the abbot has forbidden harvesting in the forest. Thomas, you know, be cool, for fuck's sake. Please, for everyone's sake, reconsider your actions. Thank you, Father, but the abbot's order goes against God's law. The forest belongs to all of us, as do all of its game and fowl and fish. He cannot claim ownership over that which the Lord gave us to hold in common. A possible sequel. I mean, the pitched Venice version would be really, really cool. But also, it would be really neat to explore this time period, but in, like, China, right? Or, like somewhere that I think is less rarely given this sort of intensive historical treatment, you know what I mean? Something in the same time period, but in a setting that does not often get to be treated with this kind of care, I think. Something like that would be really cool. No, I'm sorry, Father. We'll proceed as planned. Yeah, Ethiopia would rule. That would be incredible. What if the sequel followed Sabat? Maybe it could follow Sabat, and that would be the sequel, is his experiences going back home. Yeah, exactly. Tassing has never let anything get in the way of our St. John's customs as long as we can remember. We won't start now. And remember, tomorrow I will show you proof that as sure as the sun turns round the earth, and our God and our saints are with us. Good day, Andreas. Hello, Brother Voslav. You looked upset at Otto's announcement. Is everything all right? Otto is becoming more aggressive in his defiance of the abbot. Father Gounod will not take this news well. What if you just didn't tell the abbot? Yeah, Mechtel, I mean, that's what I'm saying, like... Whoa, Hobbs, fuck yeah. That would be incredible. What? Rikering! I just heard that and I was like, what the fuck? Was everybody able to hear that? I don't think I increased the volume of the sound clips so that hopefully they would be audible. It was still very soft. I don't know what I can do to increase the volume on that. I will continue to work on that. I don't know what's happening on it. It was, why don't you make it sing? I'm gonna have to troubleshoot it more. I'm sorry about that, Rikering. Let's see. Oh god. How could the abbot stop him? Wait, well, who's telling? Otto just announced his plan to the commons, and Tassing is a small town. Of course the abbot will hear about it. Well, listen, I know Mousefonger's not gonna tell the abbot, so... fair point. But why is the abbot so angry about it? Didn't you just hear Father Thomas, Andreas? The abbot declared the woods off limit. Anyway, it's not for me to say. I'm sure the abbot will tell you more. Yeah, I bet he will. He sent me with an invitation for you to dine with him tonight. I'm sure the father will want to discuss the situation over supper. Of course I'll attend. Thank you, Brother Voslav. Does the invitation extend to Casper as well? I'm sorry, Andreas, but Father Abbot has asked you to come to his house alone. Ugh. Phew. Please tell the abbot I'll see him in the evening. I guess I'll see what all the fuss is about. I'll meet you back at the Gold Hand after dinner, alright? Can I help set up the festival? Oh, sorry. Let me do the voice. Can I help set up with the festival decorations while you're with the abbot? Yes, but be back before sundown, alright? Yes, thank you, master. I'll see you later. Madzaloo, I love these pants updates. Even Venetian hose were longer and less shaped than most hose. H-O-S-E hose. Stopped just below the knee and were tied at the bottom so they wouldn't be loose like that. Fucking yes. Fucking incredible. Oh, fucking cool. I love this one in green. Ah, this is good. Oh, Isoplod, I can do that. Audio editing is within my wheelhouse, and I did do it. Like, I increased the volume quite a substantial amount on the audio clips, which makes me think it has less to do with the audio clips itself and something with the interface. I love this guy in green. That one's my favorite. Although the little, I don't know, ears on the mask, on the bag mask are pretty great. We found the full core. Yeah, the sheet ghost. Is it headless? Is it supposed to be a headless person? It's really good. Andreas, you gotta be partying, my dude. Come on. These are really good. This bonfire is much simpler than the one in Nuremberg, but it's pretty all the same. Rude. Rude. Appreciate this. Master Andreas, you'd best not keep the abbot waiting. Go on, we'll meet up after supper. Alright, don't get into trouble. You don't get into trouble. Casper was silent just then because he was being chill about all the trouble I get into. Hey, Werner. Hey, Till. Hey, Andreas. You hate his. You don't like his khakis? He looks like every hiker I've ever seen in Seattle. Alright, let's see. Is there anything happening in the rest of town? I really want to double check on how that birth is going. Hey, Ulrich. Bless you, Andreas. God bless you, Ulrich. How have you been? The Lord has been kinder to me than the peasants. These are difficult times for them, Andreas. They could use your help. My help? How? Talk to the abbot. He may respect your opinion more than mine or the peasants. I would have hoped he could see that his behavior is not Christian, but something is clouding his judgment. It greed in power. I'm not exactly in Father Granot's good graces. I doubt he would listen to anything I had to say. We must try, Andreas. These men are fair and hard-working, but they've been pushed down for too long. They're becoming desperate, and desperate men can forget their faith and turn to violence. What if violence is the only language the abbot understands? When a man can't keep his family fed, he can only keep that pain inside for so long. Make no mistake, the peasants hold Father Granot responsible for their lot. If there's a fire in their hearts, we must pray for rain. Now I'll do what I can, Ulrich. God, if there's a fire in our hearts, we must pray for rain is some shit. What a statement. Thank you, and God bless you, Andreas. Hey, Anna. Nice hat, kiddo. Hey, Gret. Hey, Lucky. Got nothing to talk about, Andreas. That's fair. Oh, she's still really pregnant. Which means that she has not yet given birth. Alright, I'll get me and my germs out of here. Let's still go see if that eccentric inventor is still around. And if he can be cool. Godless correction, God bless. Oh, I missed that. No bebe yet. No bebe yet. That's true. Bebe watch. Gotta watch out for bibs. Gotta watch out for bibs. Let's see. I guess they're all over. Straight out of the womb, give that Bebs a book. It's never too early to start. Never too early to start. All right. Otelia, you in here? Nope. All right, that's fair. Okay. Hey, kiddo. Hey, Popper. I really like all the background details. Every house has different, like, decorations and stuff. Which is nice. This game does a thing that I really like to see in games, which is instead of having, like, a huge amount of sprawl that is procedurally generated and therefore has, like, a lot of repetition. Because, like, if you're making a giant game and you have to fill it up, inevitably you're going to repeat a ton of assets. But I really like that in this game, because it's so small, everything can look unique. And everything can tell us something about, like, the characters and their situation. From womb to tomb, therapeutic activity. Oh, that's really good. I really like From Womb to Tomb. But that's tricky to say out loud, because it does seem like a way more grim sentence. From womb to tomb, T-O-M-E, not T-O-M-B. Oh, Madzaloo, that's so cute. It's adorable. Almost like the game designed a metaphor for the difference between hand-lettered and illuminated manuscripts for mass-printed books. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I think it might just be more about, I mean, maybe. I don't know if I think that metaphor is intended or accurate. I'll have to think about that one, Hobbs. Ems and Halls, that's a weird vibe. It's a weird vibe. By sprawl, I mean, like, open world games, right? Like, because, like, open world, like, you play Breath of the Wild. This is one of my frustrations with Breath of the Wild. You play Breath of the Wild, and every time you go to a new area, there's the same lizard, but it's a different color scheme. Or, like, the same butterflies and the same enemies, but they're color-coded a different color. And it's like, eventually, I hit a point where I'm like, well, I don't really expect to find anything new. So it's really undercutting my enjoyment of a game, because it's like, you know, none of you want to talk to me? All right. Breath of the Wild is a good counterexample to your hypothesis. I mean, because I don't think it's not about, like, the design of a game. It's about how games have to be made when they're open world. So, like, I don't think it's, like, I very rarely think people who are designing open world games are sitting down and being like, how do I want this design to be reflectant? You know what I mean? God bless you, Andreas. I'm glad to see you receive my invitation. Are you ready to eat? Yes? Good. My hypothesis is based more on what the devs are used to. how American cities are laid out versus how European cities are built. I mean, it's possible, but what you're suggesting implies a more broad, like, how do I explain this? What you're describing is not a constraint. What I'm trying to argue is that, like, there is a technological constraint that creates this sort of repetition in open world games, right? And because this is not an open world games, it's a smaller game, you can have more bespoke locations because you don't have that. So I don't think there's anything specific about American versus European cities that's driving that, if that makes sense. Andreas, thank you for coming to dinner. I admit I was surprised to receive your invitation, Father, but I'm pleased to come. Yes, well, when I heard you had returned to Tassing, the Lord convinced my heart to let bygones be bygones. Okay, all right, Father, we'll see. I think it's high time we reconciled, Master Mahler. Please sit, and we will pray together. Bless us, O Lord, and these your gifts, which we are about to receive from your bounty. Lord, direct each of us here towards your wisdom, prudence, and guidance in our future actions. Let bygones be quigons. Wait a minute. I mean, I think as, like, hypothetically, I mean, here's what I would love more than anything for Breath of the Wild 2, is that, so Majora's Mask, part of how Majora's Mask was made is that they were able to reuse all of the assets from Ocarina of Time. And explicitly, Majora's Mask got made because they were like, okay, we can do it fast and quick using all of the assets we've already made from Ocarina of Time. And I think that was great. And I thought that was a really good implementation. And part of me is hoping that for Breath of the Wild 2, they're like, okay, well, we already have all of these assets. Obviously, we're going to reuse a ton of them. And I'm hoping either they do what they do with Majora's Mask and, like, use them in a really limited but really impactful way, or two, build upon that library and kind of expand the variety of stuff. Those are my hopes. We'll see. I mean, but even this game, like, the model for the cats is all kind of the same model, right, but different colors, and that's fine. Like, I'm okay with, I understand that this is something that has to happen in video games, right? Like, you have to have the repeated assets. That's fine. I don't mind that. It's just like there's a certain point where I just hit a wall with it. Through Christ our Lord, amen. Amen. Brother Vaslav was indeed prompt in delivering my message. I am surprised you deigned to stop by at all. Rude. Yeah, Hobbs, the dogs are very different, which I do think is funny. You've done quite well for yourself after all. It's good to see that your time at Kirsau was not squandered. You even look the part of the famous artist now. What have you been doing in recent years after leaving such a mess in Tassing? He's still angry. He's still a little angry at me. Yeah, all the same petting animations. Yeah, but also, like, I mean, animations are one of those things where, again, it has to be pretty repeated. Although I think here's an interesting thing I really like about Fallout 76 is that they do have, like, a lot of the same repeated models and stuff, but they also on occasion have really, really rare stuff. So, like, there's an enemy that you can find very, very rarely that is a giant hermit crab in a truck, like a massive irradiated hermit crab in a truck. And I love it, and I'm obsessed with it. And it's so rare that when you find one, it still gives you that thrill of, like, oh, there's one of these. And they're just so delightful. And also, like, that thing killed you so dead. Yeah. Yeah. It does, like, an incredible amount of radiation damage when it hits you. And also, like, the part of how they're monetizing Fallout 76 is, like, stuff that you can buy for your camp. And a lot of that has really weird bespoke animation. So, like, there's a thing in the shop right now that's a giant Venus flytrap, and if you interact with it, it swallows you whole, and it sucks you up in its mouth and kind of works you around and then spits you out later. And, like, that animation exists one place, and it's with this thing that you get for your camp. And so it's stuff like that, which I think I really like. Are those crabs the reasons Steam thinks you're into capitalism? I don't know. It's why I think since I'm into crawfish, Is that the kind of the same thing? I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's like all video games have to have some repeated assets. Like and the larger a game is, the more repeated assets it's going to have, basically. Like that's just like, I think generally capitalism. It's capitalism. Yeah, and I think the game, I really like games that are kind of thoughtful about how to use those repetitions and how to use really special focused kind of stuff. And I think you have to have a balance between those. Anyway. What about enemy variations you find like in Elden Ring, where you can attack a noble and it becomes a bear? I like that, except that I almost never attacked those little guys because they were so weak. And so I very rarely invoked the bear. Blender stream, but you make crabitalists. I can tell you what that would be. It could be a crab in a top hat and a monocle. It would be a crab, but Mr. Monopoly. Let's see. What have I been doing? I traveled to Aragon to study the new art and oil techniques there. The journey took me far longer than I expected, though. Yes, I've heard the Inquisition has had a difficult time with the many Jews and Muslims fleeing the country. Oh yeah, the poor Inquisition. Oh, the Edict of Expulsion. A writ issued in 1492 expelling all practicing Jews from Spain. The edict resulted in pogroms and persecutions led by the Catholic Church, also called the Alhambra Decree. A crab with a monocle labeled JP Morgan like it's a Thomas Nast cartoon. That's fucking funny. That would be incredible. Yeah, they're an uppity. Like, that's the thing, right? Is like they promised more than they could offer, and you really saw that and felt that in the game. I don't know. I feel like that's like the major challenge big AAA games are suffering from at the moment, which is like everybody feels like they have to do an open world game, but you need a fuck ton of resources to be able to do that in a way that is engaging enough to justify being open world. That's not only an issue with assets, though. Even if we could GPT all those up, it's the storytelling systems that generate the world that are holding the systems back. So many procedural generations are just like, grow random maze with these building blocks. Yeah. Gold stars, that's what I'm saying. Small, bespoke games like this one are the thing I am far and away most interested in games being at the moment. I understand the eat of, well, or should I be a fuckboy? Should I be a fuckboy? This is the question. This is always the question. Nah. Well, I mean, he's not gonna like any of these options. So I'm gonna scold him about the Inquisition. I understand the edict of expulsion, Father, but the Inquisition is brutal in its methods. The Church and Crown have a duty to ensure the safety of the kingdom, Andreas. I'm sure the Inquisition is using exactly as much force as needed. Of course. Why did you really ask me here, Abbot? In truth, I had hoped to discuss the rising tensions between the Abbey and townspeople. And I'd like to clarify the situation for you, Andreas. Oh, would you? Oh, Hobbs, I thought that implied I understand what the Edict of Expulsion is, not like the purpose of it. But no, you're right. I do think that is the reading that is meant to be. Ooh. I'm trying to choose conversational options that I think are not going to screw me when I have to do a check at some point in this game. Because I have a feeling I'm going to have to do some sort of convincing check either at the end of this dinner or sometime later to do something. And I'm worried if I'm too sassy, he's going to be angry at me. And this is how power works. This is how power controls your behavior from inside out. Please, Abbot, I'm all ears. I'm relieved to hear it. I believe you've only heard from one side of the issue, Andreas. Otto's little speeches about taxes don't account for the entire situation. Fucking bold of him to say this. Looking at this fucking meal, knowing that their Gurnos let me in their house with not enough bread to even feed everyone. Why demand such high taxes then, Father? Oops. I don't know what I just ate. I hope it was good, though. With the scriptorium closure, the taxes are necessary to make up for the lost income. I mean, I assume that he closed the scriptorium because it wasn't making enough money. But also, taxes... I mean, what he's saying is implying that they are losing income from the scriptorium closing. And that income was important. So why did they close the scriptorium? But this is such a sassy thing. Ooh. Just because you decided to close the scriptorium. I am curious why he closed the scriptorium, so I'm hoping choosing that will clarify why he did such a thing. Don't put that fault on me, Andreas. These taxes are a direct consequence of your actions after you accused Ferric. He managed a scriptorium. Yeek. I mean, I don't think it's fair to blame that on me. Somebody else could have taken over. Like, it's not my job to run your fucking church. Would you rather the brothers suffer instead, Andreas? Look at what you're eating, my dude. The abbey relies on taxes to survive. The townsfolk know taxes have risen and fallen in the past and shouldered the obligation willingly. Brother Guy, but they aren't doing it now. Like, you understand that they are not doing it willingly now. So, adjust. Brother Guy has gone over the expenses himself, raising taxes in the best way to cover these costs. But what about prohibiting the peasants from using the forest? That's a new restriction. Let's have some pheasants. The forest belongs to the abbey, and the peasants have no right to use it. Legally, it's theft. You could make it legally not theft, though. You're a pedantic ass. It doesn't harm the abbey to let the townsfolk pick up sticks. Such theft deprives the abbey of its natural resources. Since the abbey does not produce anything else, it must be able to sustain itself somehow, especially under such financial stress. Have you no pity for anyone in Tassing? I mean, you're supposed to be caring for the townsfolk, too. Like, it is your responsibility to be caring for the townsfolk, too. But all this guy has been talking about is the abbey and what the abbey needs. And the fact that he is taking it from the townspeople, he just doesn't care about it. I am more upset to hear the townsfolk have no pity for us. You're the ones with power. You can't. You're the ones that have the power in the situation. It's unfair of you to demand that the people you are starving care about your needs more than you care about theirs. I hear they will continue their disobedience by collecting herbs on St. John's Eve. The whole town knows I've forbidden it. The matter is grave, and I will excommunicate anyone who defies my order. Shit, dude. You would condemn the town over something so petty. Why not make beer like the other cool abbeys? That's a great point. I can't do nothing. I'm just the resident. Dreamers, exactly. Yeah. What do I do? I mean, I have to call him out. That's absolutely ridiculous. If you believe in saving their souls so much, then this is a wild leap to take. Why you would condemn the town over something so petty? That is up to them. Oh, fuck off, Gurno. Thanks for the Lebkulen I didn't read what that was before I clicked on it. Remaining impartial will be impossible as long as you're in town. Support me in ending this foolish rebellion. Lebkuchen? What is Lebkuchen? An early form of gingerbread. Oh, shit. CH as in lock. Okay. Lebkuchen. Lebkuchen? Wow, that's really satisfying to say. You have a reputation in town, Andreas. You're a successful man, and the townsfolk believe they are like you. I'd like you to convince the other folks, the printer, for example, that this uprising is not in their best interests. The rest of town will follow, and the peasants will have no chance to resist. We will end this peacefully. Damn your plans and damn you, father! Alright, cool down, Luke Skywalker. Alright. The peasants have genuine grievances. Why not talk to them and negotiate? Yes. I am a forgiving man, but Otto's stubbornness has challenged even me. Otto is past the point of talking, Andreas. That's why I'm begging you to help in the matter. Please, take more time to think about it. I apologize, I must conclude for now. What, can I get a slice of that? No? Okay. I must excuse myself. I am expecting to lead a service at Compline tonight. Think about what we've discussed, Andreas. I trust you can find your way out. I will, Father Abbot. Good night. I mean, he absolutely, yeah. I mean, this is the problem, is like people in power don't always understand that they are in power. And so like the abbot will, if this excites into violence, the abbot will not be able to perceive that like he could have stopped this. He's projecting the amount of power he has on other people in this area, and failing to understand that like he does have the power to stop it. And the quote unquote power that the townspeople have is to either starve or obey, and that's not an actual choice, right? And that's like not functionally, not like they do have that choice. Let's get this straight. Like they do technically have a choice, but that choice is not a fair one. And like, right? Like, I don't know. It's a choice, but it's no choice at all. And people in power that are faced with situations like these will always harp on that it's a choice, that they are making the choice to do this sort of thing, but refuse to accept their part in creating the circumstances of this choice. And so they make it about like, you just have to choose what you're gonna do. It's your choice. You can choose just to starve. And it's like, well, no. Well, but no, though. Yeah, just stop being poor. Exactly. I don't know. That's one of those things where it's like, it's always worthwhile being suspicious of what people consider a choice and what people will argue is a choice. Because a lot of things are technically choices, and you can technically make that argument, but it's disingenuous. All right. Nobody is around. I guess nobody wants to talk. Hey, guy, what do you think about what's happening? All right, maybe the, Are there any nuns about? Any nuns want to chill? No? Okay. Hey, Messmonger. You should have thought about that before you became peasants. I guess it is nighttime, right? I guess it is sleep time. It's Rocket Cat! It's everybody's favorite superhero, Rocket Cat. Alright. Oh, I have not been fully appreciating the zoom option. Rocket Cat! I like this circus act. Medieval folktale, they remake them into Rocketeer. The origins. Origins of the Rocketeer. It would be awesome. Rocket gas from a real book? Huh, Casper isn't here. Oh, right, I have to go fetch Casper. Maybe he wandered in town to see the bonfire. I should go look for him. That's right, it's time to get ribbled. How can you find nobles who invest in your work and the last one got brutally killed? That's fair. But I mean, he did imply that, like, they lost income when the scriptorium closed. So the scriptorium was still generating income for the monastery. It's just like nobody wanted to watch over it, I guess. Or maybe they didn't have anybody to do the work. But like, again, like it's not my job to run the abbot. Hey, Otelia. Well, well, well. Andreas the painter. Good to see you, Otelia. When did I say it was good to see you? No, that's fair. The only reason I remember you is because you bothered me about that rat to the Baron. Anyway, no time to talk now, fancy man. It's time to call to the fire. Does St. John's... Whoa, no. Let's talk about calling. Oh. Auda ans Mama Petra. Ooh, a word I don't know even though I have the background. I mean, I assume it's like bless or protect us. We burn something for you. You, this is fucking useless. Yeah, gold stars, I think that's fair. That is my understanding too, roughly, is that they... Ha 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 ha! Are you gonna translate that? No, okay. Alright, I'm gonna go. Enjoy the evening, Andreas. But if you want my advice, stay out of the woods tonight. Ha 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 ha! We're for sure going to the woods tonight, y'all. For sure. I mean, that's fair. The scriptorium was already fading fast. Like, I think the game is doing a really good job of making this a very complicated situation with no clear-cut actions. However, it's also very telling that we had dinner with the Grenos who literally could not afford to give bread to everybody at the table, and whose people are actually dying because of malnutrition, probably. And then the abbot's table, which had pies and cakes and pheasants for the suckling. It's just like, the situation is ambiguous, but the proof of the situation is less so. I see the babies are playing. They're having a good time. I can hear a kitten mewing somewhere. Adorably. Are they doing hopscotch? Oh, they're so cute. They're playing everybody's favorite game, throwing pebbles in the air. The only clear-cut action is to hit Greno up the head and tell him to fucking act like an adult. If only that would work. Oh, it's flower petals. That does make more sense. Master Andreas, look how big the bonfire is. The decorations are so fancy. St. John's Eve Festival is a big event for Tassing. I missed it last time I was here. Haven't you ever been to a festival like this, Casper? No, I've never seen anything like this. Can't I stay at the bonfire and see the costumes and watch them collect herbs, Master Maller? Please. I wonder if there's going to be violence. I wonder if there's going to be violence in the forest. I think this boy should attend, though. Let's all get ribbled up in some herbs. Alright. Alright, but follow along and don't get in their way. I'm too tired. What? What? No, Casper, go to the festival. It's fine. You'll be fine. You're with the townspeople. I think I'll just turn in for the night. I'm not gonna go to the fucking party. God damn it. Yes, I promise I won't make trouble. I'll see you tomorrow, Master. I don't get to hang out. Andreas. The bonfire looks great. Yeah. Huh. I'm sorry. Look, I don't need any more apologies. Got nothing to do with them. Haha, I do like Lucky. The past is in the past. God will measure our souls in the end. Brigitte and Martin look happy tonight. Do they? Very much so. Happier than I've seen them in a while. They've been through a lot, but still managed to keep their hearts firm. Martin's become far more responsible a man after his return. I just wish... Never mind. Raise eyebrow quizzically. I wish Wolf hadn't died. Oh, me too, man. I mourn the boar. After all these years later. I'd hoped he'd take up my mantle. I wanted to pass on my knowledge and trade. I'm sorry, Lucky. I really am. Yeah. Perhaps Brigitte will have another. While I live, she seems happy enough with Martin. I'd love to hear the patter of small feet again. A boy to hold a chisel and mallet. A little stonemason making his grandfather proud. Oh. What a shitty thing to say at this moment. He might have blown you the fuck off, Lucky, so your desires are meaningless. Well, I suppose it's up to Brigitte and Martin. Yeah, well, life begets life. Whims of an old man. I don't want to keep you from the festivals, Andreas. Go enjoy yourself. Same to you, Lucky. Until later. You had this discussion with Lucky a lot earlier. Was he less angry at you, Lance? Evening, Andreas. Say, how do you like the bonfire? We built it nice this year. Big and sturdy. It's a fine setup, Carl. Excellent work. Ah, he'll remember that. I know we can't compare to where you come from, but we still give it our all. In the celebration of the light, who prepared the way for our Lord. Anton, you remember Andreas Mahler, the master artist? Yeah, I've seen him around town. Son, be polite. Ugh, hello, Master Mahler. How are you? I'm well, thank you, young master. Anton's a good boy, let me tell you. A bit of a rascal, as you can see. I clicked too soon. Ugh, Dad, will you stop? Easy to rile you up, just like your mother. How is Helena? Is she not attending the bonfire? She'll join us later. She went with Martha to dip their toes in the stream and to pick some flowers for the garlands and wreaths. It's important to hold to traditions. You're right, especially with the times we're having. Besides, maybe Martha and Helena will come across the bosom of a fern out there. Oh, the blossom of a fern? I misread that. What's so funny about that? Ferns don't flower. That means no power to speak with animals for you, boy. I see. Yes, I've played that game before. In the forest with a maiden, seeking the flower that fern that flowers. Oh, Andreas, you cad. Please don't insinuate such things in front of my boy. Hey, I'm old enough to get what he means. Will I be going into the woods with the girls soon? I think that's up to the girls, my lad. You know, Anton, it's not the time nor the company to talk about that. Papa, when will I get to fuck? Let's just enjoy the celebrations. Speaking of, what do you think of the festival so far, Anton? It's fine, I guess. I like the fires when they were lit. The mountains get to twinkle like the stars. I don't like when people get drunk and rowdy as the night goes on. They get into fights and all that. Shoosh. Oh, anyone in particular? Let's gossip! Well, not as much lately, but Martin used to get in trouble. Anton's got a good eye. Martin's been a solid fellow since he came back, but sometimes drinks too much. He's calmed down lately. You know, he used to be kind of a shit. Language, boy. God doesn't look kindly on blaspheming. But those are your words, Dad. Best you don't quote me. Quote the scripture instead. It's better for your soul. You listen to your father, Anton. I will. I do. Jesus. Hey, what did I just say? Don't let your mother catch you with that mouth. Well, I'll let you get back into the festivities now. It was a pleasure. Until later, Andreas. Bye. Hey, you two. Y'all gonna fuck soon? Why, Andreas, look who it is. Good evening. Andreas, you're staying for the festival, I hope. Of course he's staying. Who would miss this, especially after you burly boys built such a beautiful bonfire? A burly boy like me would do anything for you, Dove. Couldn't help myself. Brigitte, Martin, I hope you're feeling very festive. You're both feeling very festive, I see. The foods, the fire, the dancing. It's really a night to enjoy. It's an honor. It's to honor the anniversary of the birth of Blessed John, a Virgil for he who prepared the way. Yes, and he'd have liked everyone to have a good mood in their hearts and good food in their bellies. As a hermit who wandered in the desert, living off locusts and wild honey, he probably wouldn't agree. I'd like to live off some wild honey myself, if you catch my meaning. Oh, who wouldn't? Well, now I can't stop thinking about it. Andreas! Ha, you're an ordinary man after all. It's true I have my vices. As long as you have God hold you on the path, and the eye fixated on your wife. Lust is a sin, after all. Andreas has proven himself honest and honorable. Isn't that right? You saw it all those years ago, Brigitte. I remember all that effort to save your friend, the old monk. You're not a sinful man, no. That's kind of different kinds of sins. Thank you for the kind words. So, are you going to heed Otto's call and go into the forest? No, I'm not really looking for trouble. There's enough of that going around. And you, Brigitte, not gathering any herbs? My place is by Martin's side. The word of the abbot is the word of the church. It's improper to go against the word of the church. Only slightly less improper than all the time you spend with Veronica. What? Only slightly less improper than all the time you spend with Veronica. What does that mean? Oh, Brigitte, I'm sorry. It was a joke. It came out poorly. It's good for the hearts to have cherished friends. Are they? You know. I mean, I don't know. Everything about that was sus. Andreas, I was about to say, the bonfire is enough. We will dance until our legs begin to waver, right, Martin? Would not miss it for the world. Well, that's delightful. I hope you have a great evening. And you as well, Andreas. Until later. I mean, they're married. Martin and Brigitte are married. God, I hope we can talk to Veronica. Hello, Master Mahler. Evening, Till. Enjoying the festival? Very much so. I perhaps feel a tad old for the more active side of the celebrations, but I enjoy the sights and sounds. Do you know the word for the summer solstice leads back to the Romans? I thought you didn't read Latin. I've picked up a few words here over the years, and I still have the mind to put two and two together. Admirable, I must admit. It's nothing, Master Mahler, mainly proverbs and the occasional word. Hints, solstitum, solstitum, such as it looks at this time of year. The sun rises higher for a long time, and then it stays there before falling again. I miss talking to Veronica, damn. A fitting allegory for the great cosmic arc of mankind, rise and fall. But to make up for that, dancing, leaping, songs, joy, and mirth. People do seem to be elated, although I don't think the same applies to Abbot Begrenot. Otto's courting danger, I agree, going against the decrees of the abbey like so. The festival has always been a rebellious streak of jest and mockery. I don't see it as sacred as some. And what are we mocking? The fools of the community, most like. The vices of folks get up to, especially those more important than us peasants. Overall, I think it brings people together. I wish I could read more about all the... Well, with the abbey selling books from their library, I hoped I could get some for myself, but it proved to be too expensive. Klaus and his printings have proven to be of more use and a fair bit cheaper. Does that mean you've read the 12 articles? I have. But that is not a talk to be had on this eve of celebration, Master Mahler. I see your point. Well, have you come across any interesting tales? I have indeed, Master Mahler. Oh, I don't quite understand everything. The text was in Latin. It was by a Roman named Strabo, but it was about geography. That's why I noticed it. I don't believe I've had a chance to read anything by him. It was fairly complicated read, I must admit. The book was about many kinds of barbarians, which also included the Reti tribe I read about years ago. The people who had lived on this very land before the Romans arrived. He called the place Ratium and described it as a cluster of huts, and its people hostile and warlike, only interested in hunting and fishing. There was something about Manus and his sons, but I couldn't understand a lot of it. In any case, when the Romans came, most of these locals were driven out, but some were captured to work in the fields and the mines. What happened to the locals who were forced out? No idea. I would imagine that after the Romans were driven off, when the empire started falling apart, maybe the barbarians came back. But were they really the same people? Or nomads from elsewhere? I guess we may never know. Thank you for the quick history. I'll let you get back to the festivities. They went roaming. It's pretty good, hymns. Enjoy yourself tonight, Master Mahler. Until later. Oh, look, it's Il Peter. Daub is like mud and wood. Okay. I'm familiar with the word. I was more struggling to read it. I was like, I thought daub was a word, but I was like, is that what is being spelled out here? His text was harder for me to read than most. Good evening, Andreas. Nice to see you here. Grandpa, look who it is.
Oh, the artist. You still around?
You told me to find you at the bonfire.
Did I? Well, guess I did. Seems like you got some sense then. So, do you have your mask?
I didn't realize I was supposed to bring one.
Fach! The fools I have to suffer. The masks are to protect us as we banish the witches and spirits into Parchta's path.
She punishes all humans she finds in the woods on St. John's Eve, since only witches are allowed out in the wilderness.
Anyone caught will be turned into animals. Cool. No one but a priest can then turn you back.
I'd like to turn and live with the animals. We're going full Wicker Man. Well, I guess I could imagine a worse punishment.
You joke, artist, but you won't be laughing when Perchta finds you. Stay indoors tonight. If you want to come outside, stay within the light of St. John's fire.
This sounds like a cool-ass festival.
At least St. Stacia blesses the herbs in the forest this night, and the woman will gather the herbs, regardless of that bastard abbot.
It's certainly important to stockpile some for the winter. Thank you for teaching me more about local traditions.
Hey, Big George.
Huh?
You grab some of those ashes with you after the bonfires died down.
Fine. What are the ashes for? God, I fucking love this Fresno Nightcrawler ass-looking motherfucker. I'm really satisfied with this whole look. He keeps distracting me when he slides into view.
It's to spread across the garden. Ensure us a good harvest. Figured you shitty people don't know shit.
Don't be like that, Grandpa. Now that story time is over, how are you enjoying the festivals so far, Andreas? That's true, though, right? Can't ashes actually help? Sometimes with some crops? Like, that feels like it is born out of, like... I know he said it was superstition, but that feels like it might be born of actual good practice. Ashes can add nitrogen back to the soil. Exactly. Exactly. See? The old traditions have purpose sometimes. I've spoken to a few other people here. Very enlightening. It's the best time to spend time with your friends. Friends and more, Veronica. Have you heard anything interesting?
Oh, gossip. You two are like that birder in the forest. Smokey, that's the one. Always nosy about other people.
Yes, it's been fun to hear about what people think about St. John's Eve. Maybe you'll get a few dances in as well, eh, Andreas? Given how many gorgeous women live in this town, I can't miss out on the chance. And you're the kind who'd dance with all of them, Andreas. As long as you don't get caught by the husband, they won't take kindly to that. Well, I shouldn't keep you from the night's celebrations. Until later.
Huh.
Hey, Werner. I would love to steal Else, the miller's wife. She deserves better. She deserves better than me, too, but I can help, maybe. Salutations, Andreas. Most wonderful to see you here. I see you two have met. What do you want with an inventor? I make all manners of mechanical contraptions filled with gears and levers and other such delights. Undead Adamus, I turned that on. You can turn it on and off in the settings, and I didn't have it on for the first, I think, couple streams, but then I got curious about the text, so I turned all of that stuff on. Andreas here is a man of the mind. Why shouldn't he be interested in my work? For all the use it is. Wow. The mind of an inventor exists to create, to build, to go one step further. One step further towards the garbage heap. Ha 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 ha. A very inspiring thought, Baltus. Why, I thank you, Master Artist. Speaking of, have you had the chance to look around town tonight? I imagine the sights could be inspiring for your artistic mind. Tassing certainly looks cheerful with the decorations and bonfire. Indeed, look at the peasant's ingenuity. Consider the bonfire itself. It is built to allow the air and heat to flow through it at great speed. See how it roars. A clever piece of construction, but Otto's a clever man. It is a feat almost worthy of an university degree. These people have natural traditions. They've managed to figure out many clever things without even the most cursory education. It is knowledge that hails from preceding generations, lived experience passed along the chain of time. Yeah, oral tradition is a very effective way of sharing knowledge and information, one that has been traditionally ignored by people with academic learning, and that sucks. Not quite the tradition, knowledge of a rigorously educated mind, perhaps, but nonetheless useful. You don't need a university education to be smart. Of course you would say that. Neither of you know these people like I do. God has assigned them their place in the order of the world for good reason. This motherfucker, whatever. There's some merit in learning from the peasants. Even you, Werner, given their understanding of herbal remedies. Yeah, you don't think you can learn something from Agnes, the midwife, who's born every baby in this area? Whatever. Their traditions are profane. Consider the Eve of St. John tainted by their pagan rituals. It's an affront to Christ. Imagine seeing these creatures and being like, no, that's an affront to Christ. St. Eligius warned about precisely this nearly 1,000 years ago. Patron saint of goldsmiths, Bishop of Nyon Chernai, worked tirelessly to convert the pagans of Flanders to Christianity. You're really wound up about this, aren't you? Use that mind the Lord gave you and think, Mahler. Do you think the church will suffer a revived paganism while Luther's acolytes tear down its walls? We live in dangerous times. If you can't see that, you're more of an imbecile than I thought. Ah, you've gotten too serious, my friends. Far too grim. We're here to fuck around and hang out. I'll let you continue with your evening then. Good night. A very good night. And do come by my workshop, Master Mahler. I'd love to exchange ideas. It would be my pleasure. Splendid. Until then, Mahler. Maid Crook, thank you for the Prime subscribe. I mean, there's no reason. Like, it's fascinating because the fact that it is called the Feast of St. John's mean that, like, there has been compromises between these faith systems, right? And these belief systems. Like, there are crossovers and there are compromises being made. But it's not sufficient. It used to be, apparently. Like, that my understanding of this game is that, like, this used to be fine. The previous father was okay with it. But that the new abbot that has taken over is unwilling to allow any amount of alternative. And that's busted. Everybody has a right to believe in what they want as long as they do not restrict and harm other people. And This house is just empty. Like, nobody, it's not like this house was given to somebody else. Otelia doesn't get to live there, and nobody gets to live there. And that sucks. Trying to find if there's anybody else having a good ribbled time. I mean, I think that's a good compromise, right? Being like, yeah, this is a bonfire. We all agree bonfires fucking rule and are cool as hell. Let's all enjoy this bonfire for different reasons. Is Smokey over here? I want to see what Smokey has to say. Hey, my dude. Evening, Master Mala. You're not taking part in the festivities? I mean, this guy is always around fire, so he's probably, like, not that excited about it. I came to ask you the same. I didn't see you at the bonfire. I imagine it'd be a great chance to gather gossip. Ha ha, plenty of gossip to go around if one keeps their eyes open in the forest tonight. It's an enchanted evening. As for your question, I get enough fire and smoke as it is. Yeah, see, that's what I'm thinking. And some things haven't changed over the years. Folks still dislike associating with the burner. Other than Andreas, he occasionally comes by, but I guess he has to keep good relations for his trade. Oh, I forgot. Well, fine. They're not as bad as usual, but truth be told, I don't really care. I've made my peace with the matter. For me, it's a night like most others. I prefer staying sober and observing the townsfolk. I bet you do, my dude. Easier to get all that gossip for years to come, you know? Besides, I reckon I'm growing too old for mischief. Best let the others run around in their silly costumes. I think you still have some youth in you. Ha ha! Like the sun rises to its highest point every year, so my back grows ever more crooked. But I appreciate you coming by. I wish you a pleasant even, Master Mahler. Yeah, you too. Until then. What I love is how into his own perversion Smokey is. He's like, people are gonna come here tonight to fuck, and old Smokey's gonna be there. Yeah, Milo. I think that's so cool. I desperately wish I had the talent for that. I mean, I guess it's partially a talent, but also partially just like, I think an inherent skill. Like, there are people who just know how to cook. Like, they just have such an intrinsic understanding of the science and how everything behaves and how it's supposed to behave that they can just eat a dish and be like, oh, I know how you got all of these flavors. Like, I know how you got all of these things to react this way. I think that's so cool. It's so fascinating. Oh, I guess the Millers we didn't see the Millers there, right? I wonder if they're... Hey, I'm wondering if I can talk to them. Nope. All right. This is why you're too self-conscious to fuck in the woods. All right. I think I've done my loop. I don't think there's anything to do but sleep now. Hiding behind their fucking glass windows. Yeah. 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 Rib, I think that's a good point. Like, yeah. But the educational structures, yeah. School is just a system by which to share information. And it's not the only way, and it's not always the best way, depending on the person, to share information. But it is kind of a miracle that we have any sort of standardized education that, like, everybody gets access to. Like, you just get to go to school. I don't know. I think college should be free. This is a thing that might not surprise you. I think all education should be free. I think undergrad studies should be free. And I think it's okay to charge for master's degree studies if somebody wants to go so far as to specialize. Like, I think that makes sense to me. Where the fuck is the hotel? I'm way far off. Hold on. But that's the other thing is like there are people who see academia as a means of control, right? It's a means of controlling how information is created and shared. And so like a lot of formalized education wants to disavow the importance or the use of any education that exists outside of an academic section, right? Because if it's not under their purview, then it can't be controlled. And so like oral tradition has a really bad reputation for also a lot of like xenophobic and racist reasons as well, right? Because like the academic system is something that is like somewhat Eurocentric. There we go. Thank God. One of your favorite, Matt says, one of my favorite historical figures is Catherine the Great, specifically for her stances on education and her attempts to get it to be more normalized for women and girls. Yeah, that's good. It's good to be educated. Made crooked, yeah. I guess I fundamentally, yeah. I mean, here's the thing is like my master's degree was functionally free. Like I didn't pay tuition. I worked. I worked and I got a stipend for teaching classes. And like that, I do think like that should be the standardized way that a master's degree function. But that is extraordinarily rare. And the only reason I got that is because I got my master's degree from like one of the best funded master's degree for what I studied in the country. Like that should be how it does. But also, I got paid very little. I got paid an astoundingly small amount that I had to live on. And so like most of the other people I went to grad school with had other means of income. Like either they had a partner who was supporting them, or they were independently wealthy, or their parents were giving them money. Like I was one of the very few people in my program who was just trying to live on that money. And thank God it was in the Midwest because I was able to, but like it was some rough years. And so it's like even if you make school free and even if you provide some amount of income, it's functionally still out of reach for a lot of people. And that is the exception. Like my experience was an exception to the rule. And probably the only reason, well, I guess like America does have exceptions for halting like scholarship repayments and like loan repayments on school if you're still in school. So I think that's fine. I don't know. I don't know. Education should be free. Every baby should have a book. I think that's everything. I'm going to go to sleep. I think we talked to everybody. Yeah, I did the math actually with my partner. My partner makes more a month in their current job than I made a year teaching intro to public speaking at a university level. What I'm saying is if you're in college and you have grad students teaching your classes, they've probably got a lot going on. Uh-oh. It's another dream. Oh, this is the labyrinth from, I think this is the same labyrinth that the painting of Mother Mary was holding. Right? Time for some self-inflicted suffering. Why? It is? Okay, cool. This rules. Hey, Sabine. What's up? What? Come home. I've got a 7-year-old murder to solve, so I will soon. You're lying. Well, she's got me there. Sometimes I think you must despise me all. I don't actually even know you, lady. I'm sorry. I want to roleplay as Andreas, but I don't really know you. But maybe it's worse than that. Maybe I'm nothing to be regarded at all. Oh no. What am I to you now? An annoyance? A bother? A nuisance to be ignored while you lead another life in Barcelona? Oh. Was there ever an ounce of love in your heart for me? Oh, man. This is never about love is true, but it also feels like maybe the most cruel thing I could say at this moment. Oh. I mean, it sucks. It sucks that his mastership, apparently he needed to get married. Hobbs, I'm asking you. Because they've made reference to that before, right? Like, he needed to get married to become a master? Is that right? Was that a rule? Because that's pretty wild and interesting. This was never about love, Sabine. Not at first, no. But I suppose it was too much to hope that a seed of tenderness could grow between us. Oh, say nothing. Don't start shit, Andreas. You're being... I know this is your dream, but you're being rude. Fine. Go back to your whores, the women who make you happy. Oh no. This house is so lonely without him. Stop. Your presence would only amplify the grief. Oh no, did we lose a baby? Stop! Leave me alone. Leave me alone with the memory of him. Oh no. Stop! Just leave me alone. Just for one night. One night where I don't have to dream about him. Please. Oh no. Madsloo, yeah, I think so. Oh god. That's a rough one. It's a rough one, especially since I played Andreas to clearly love all the children in the village and want to care for them. Is that why he didn't walk back to Claus? Maybe, Madsloo, yeah. Oh no, baby. Hey. I know, you aren't going to say anything. You never say anything. In my dreams. I'm sorry I couldn't do anything for you. Oh no! I suppose there's not much one can do against the plague. Oh. Do you get tired where you are? Last time I saw you, I said goodnight to you. No! This is gonna make me cry. I can't come to the bed, so I stood in the doorway. I just stood in the dark. You didn't say anything back, so I said it again. I don't know how long I stood there. Just waiting for you to say goodnight. Yeah, this is a dream, Mactil. These are his dream sequences. You still look the same age to me. I wonder if I'll ever forget your face. Do I remember your mother as she is? Or am I just thinking of some perversion of Daniel's portrait? Can you ever picture someone clearly if you love them? I loved you, little boy. Oh no, I loved you so much. Sometimes I wish I could die so I wouldn't feel it anymore. Oh, but I can't. So I retrace my steps every night, and I find my way back to her. Back to you. Oh. I love you, August. No, stop. Good night. It's really sad. Baby's good books, not plague. Oh god, we're back here. Wow, things have gotten bad. Oh, the fools are drunk. Oh. Gold stars, you did warn me. Yeah, you did warn me, gold stars. What the fuck has happened here? Where is Prester John? And where are Socrates and St. Grobian? Grobian wasn't on the Ship of Fools. Oh God, I've got depression! No! Oh no, I'm burnt out. Won't you answer me? No thoughts for Beatrice? Yeah, what the fuck, dude? You are Beatrice, aren't you? Once. I was the voice of caution, of prudence. Albert Dürer reference, yeah, for sure. I could not find my book of Albert Dürer prints, but I'm gonna keep searching. More and less than caution, the ache of doubt that stiffens to paralysis. Paralysis that breeds despair. I really love this jester up in the corner, sadly waving his little jingle jangle. It's a really good one. Yeah, sad jingle. Jingle, jingle. He was fine yesterday. What happened to you? What happens to you happens to us. The foundations of this city are still moored within the ocean of your mind. The court does not rule your mind rules the court. Once reason, curiosity, and the foolishness of youth dwelt under the aegis of your intellect. I'm all that remains, the melancholy of life's autumn. But it's only June. I don't know if a punchline is the right move, Andreas. But I am going to do it, unfortunately. But it's only June. What can't save you from your own mind, Andreas? I am being called out to an extreme extent. I can't. This game can't. This is fucking unacceptable. What can save me? Antidepressants, but they won't be invented for another couple hundred years. A course other than the one you have already run. Another course? I'm 33. I have a wife, a workshop, clients across the empire. This is really cutting. I mean, I don't have any of those things. Hey, Andreas, have you considered getting laid off? And it's brought to you here, Andreas Mahler. What am I supposed to do about it now? Change your life. Wait, I shouldn't be here. I needed to help someone. Is Casper all right? So your thoughts aren't entirely turned inwards. There's still something in you that cares for others in spite of your melancholy. Yeah, he's a rough 33. He is a rough 33. Feel even so for the time. Maybe he got the gray streaks from the trial. Perhaps there is still hope for us. Wake up, Andreas. Oh, is it still nighttime? Did I just wake up really early, or is it... Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Wistful jangle! Yeah, all worried about our boy. He is not prepared for anything in life. Schlau, have you seen my boy? There's a lot of commotion tonight. It sounds like everyone's gone to the woods. I mean, that means I should go to the woods, right? This is another one of those things where I'm like, I know where I need to go, but what if there's conversation to be had elsewhere? I want to see if the church is locked. No. Is the abbot asleep? Am I walking through his house in my pajamas while he's asleep upstairs? I just want to see if there's anybody out in the church tonight. Oh, you did check? Okay. Thank you, gold stars. I do want to peek in the... Well, this is suspicious. Is everybody fucking in the church? Or the library, I mean? I'm going to peek in the church, in the library real quick just to see if there's anybody getting mild in there. Alright, no, it doesn't look like... Okay. Alright, let's go to the forest. Lanceheart, I don't know. I am worried. It feels extremely possible. It seems extremely possible that they could get my boy. Now I am lost. I don't remember how to get anywhere in this game. Cemetery. Here we go. I can go to the garden. Just down the hallway. So many times I've been to this church, and yet... Oh, garden. I can get out through the garden. Alright, cut a rug, my lad. There we go. Gold stars, no. And both in real in games and in real life. I'm actually very, very good at finding my direction. Where I'm getting fucked up with this game is that, like, the map that they have given me does not map mentally to the spaces. And I think it's because where the exits are, it's all just, it doesn't map correctly. Yes, yes! Smokey, you seeing all this shit? Smokey's, I assume, hiding. Okay, I love this owl mask. Here's the Fresno Nightcrawler, just letting it all hang loose. Oh, I love the mask that's just flowers. Oh, good, we've got like one of these little beekeeper masks. I can't see out of this damn thing. Fucking funny. Oh. Johan? Hey, are you okay, my dude? Just dead drunk. Johan, dear, where are you? Uh-huh. Oh god, there is somebody peeking. Somebody peeking in the woods. As these two still wearing their masks, question mark? They're just sort of mashing their wood masks against each other. It could be Smokey, yeah. I don't know that he had a mask, but I don't see why that couldn't be him. That guy's fucking passed out. One hundo. The masks stay on. Oh, hey, Casper. Wait, no, come back here. Oh, I wanted to talk to that dude.
Master Andreas, what are you doing out here?
Casper, what the hell are you still doing up? Why didn't you come back?
Sorry, Master Mauler. I was at the bonfire with Gillian, but I heard about a ruckus from deep in the woods. I left to go see what it was.
Uh-oh. Father Gounod, what are you doing out here? I was chasing one of the townsfolk, but lost track of the costumed buffoon. The forest is off limits. I'll figure out who's breaking the rules and excommunicate them myself. Scrim.
What was that?
Someone is screaming in town. They're really taking this nonsense too far this year. Let's go back to town and see what's happening. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. God, everybody bailed. What? Whoa. I only saw that briefly, but that was a cool mask.
I've never seen these flowers before. I wonder where they found them. Who was that running off anyway?
It's too hard to tell who's who in these stupid costumes. Who cares? Let's go see what the screaming is about. Gold stars, you had that fucking ready. you had that fucking ready. Oh my god, they killed Otto! We were so worried about Casper. Dead? Yes, I'm afraid so. He's been mega crushed. Someone released the rope. The platform crushed him. What? How did this happen? Oh god, there's another murder for me to fuck up solving. Baltus and Lenhart and I heard the crash and stepped outside to see what had happened. Right, and then we saw a figure in costume rushing off from the rat house. It must have been whoever released the rope. And what were you doing during all of this, Lenhart? Lenhart was also instinctively my first guess. Enjoying a light meal with these gentlemen. Ah, what a shame you can't blame me for this, Peter. Casper, look to see if Otto had a note. Huh? Oh god, it's Narda. It's starting all over again. It's another one. Adog has to tell me everything he fucking knows about this.
No, Master, there's nothing.
Are you certain?
What were you expecting?
I'm not sure. Yeah, kind of mean. Hey, you there, boy. Yeah, sarcastic French head, exactly. My god. Oh, Ava. Otto! No, no. Oh, phew. The abbot must have killed him. Okay, now settle down. The bastard always had it in for Otto. We all knew it. The abbot was literally with me when this happened. So it wasn't him directly. How dare you! I won't just stand here and be accused of such a foul act by a peasant. Tell us how you real feel. How you real feel, is what I said. Go after him. Tell us your real feel, bud.
Right, no, the abbot was with us. He's innocent.
That's right. There's no way he could have killed Otto. Grab the artist and the boy, too. We'll get to the bottom of this. Okay, Peter, fucking chill out. Casper, run! Oh, we're both running. I thought Andreas was like, Casper, get out of here. I'll hold him back. No. Are you kidding me? I'm not going to be able to find it quickly because I don't know. Oh, okay. Now there's one road. Now there's one road. What happens if I stop? Okay. All right. I was so willing to be captured. What if it suddenly became like the first level of Donkey Kong and I had to jump over barrels and dodge hammers? They're on through the church. This way. They've locked the door. Wow. We are friends with so many of these monks. I fucking cannot believe. I can't fucking believe that they wouldn't let me hide out with them. Wow. Andreas, get out of the way. Otto's death demands justice. The abbot couldn't have killed Otto. He was with us when we found the body. That's true. He did arrive with you, but you don't know where he was before that, do you, Andreas? Who else would have wanted to kill Otto? Coward! Killer! Andreas, move! If you go after Gernot, the real killer will get away.
No mercy! Face us! He's a monster!
If those monks don't come out, we'll set fire to the whole place and cook them. Well, I'm fucking not gonna let you do that. Gernot, stay out of this. Oh, Casper, we're really in it now. Man. All of these are good angles. I'm not gonna appeal to their trust in me, because that feels pretty suspect right now. Like, I don't really feel like they actually do trust me at this moment, so that does not seem like a wise choice. You all have a good reason to hate the abbot, but he is not the culprit here. Yeah. It doesn't seem like the abbot could really kill Otto, doesn't? Casper, you shut the fuck up. You stay the fuck out of this. Fine, damn it. You've got one day to find whoever you think is the real killer, Andreas. Otherwise, we will come back for the abbot. Oh, Ava, don't come here. Don't come here with your sweet little morsel. Oats, I'm so sorry. Andreas, all I want is justice for my husband. Please, you must find the murderer. I swear... Ava, Otto was a good man. I won't stop until I find who killed him. Oh no! What a terrible place to end this stream. For a whole week. Because we won't be back until... The peasants are really convinced that Gernot killed Otto, but it's impossible. I know, my lad. Sorry, I didn't do it in this voice.
The peasants are really convinced that Gernot killed Otto, but it's impossible.
It's no secret that Gernot and Otto were at odds. Many of the peasants hate the abbot and would like to see him suffer like they have.
Master, Peter was furious. He's only giving you a day to find the murderer. Why do you even agree to find out who really killed Otto anyway?
Well, hi, Fancy. Oh, Lanceheart, who did you... who are we raiding? Thank you for letting me know. I don't always catch the raid point spending. So just let me know who we're raiding.
It didn't turn out well last time, did it?
Oh, fuck you, Casper.
Why do it again?
His face is exactly how I feel. Everyone deserves justice, Casper. Also, shut the fuck up.
You have a good heart, Master Andreas. Who do you think did it then? Where do we even start?
We should talk to Lionheart. He always hated the peasants and supported the abbot. Alright.
He was very vocal against Otto in the town commons the other day.
Even if he didn't kill Otto, he might know who else had the motivation to.
Oh, what about Master Bauer? When we saw him talking to Otto, they seemed to be arguing over something.
It's not likely. Martin supported Otto and the peasants. But we don't know what they were arguing about, so... It might be worth talking to Martin to see what they were discussing. He might have had an idea of who wanted to kill Otto.
Good idea. Who else?
I'm certain we can find some other people to accuse and then lose our friendship with. I'm sure we can find some other suspects. We'll have to do some more investigating to find out who the murderer is, but we'd better move fucking fast.
Could the murderer confess to...
I really went over it.
Could the murderer confess to Father Thomas?
Probably not. That would be pretty fucking dumb. However, we could eavesdrop on confessions. Since St. John Eves just happened, the townsfolk will all come in to confess.
Oh yeah, one of the townsfolk must have heard something anyway. It's a good place to start.
We could also ask around at the Golden Hand. People will tell outsiders anything. That seems unlikely. The travelers might have seen or heard something useful.
What about the person who went by us in the forest? They were wearing these flowers. I've never seen them before.
I wonder if we'll find some in the garden, or possibly, yeah, in the nun's garden. Right, we have to find the source of these flowers in the wood. That might give us some sort of connection to the killer. The flowers might have a medicinal use. Someone with medical knowledge and Tassing might know where it grows.
We should ask them, but who would have that knowledge?
Those that I know with such a background are Brother Florian, Sister Gertrude, Agnes, or Werner. We have a lot of good places to start. Even though time is short, we have a good chance at finding the real killer. All right, let's get to work. Whew. The flowers are the new notes. Everybody's going to have it on them. That would be nightmare. That would be really difficult. All right. I'm setting the rate up. Yes, I will change screens to get that autosave up, hopefully. Did you do it? Yes, saved 3 seconds ago. All right. Another great stream. As a reminder, I will not be here. There will be no stream Tuesday, Thursday, or next Saturday. No, or next Sunday. That's when I stream. Basically, no streams the next week. The schedule below me is updated, so it should be accurate. I will be at PAX East. If you see me at PAX East, say hello, and I will say hello back. Yeah, that's it. I'll see y'all later. Let's do the stream. Bye. Have a good rest of your weekend. Bye.
Sci-fi at all 1980s Thatcher England, and you just need to like ride around this